Is talk therapy helpful for ADHD? This is a question we're often asked, and one we're happy to answer. We are a group practice located in New York City that specializes in working with folks with ADHD. And so we want to provide all the information we have to you so that you can make informed decisions about care and ADHD management and all of that. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you all about talk therapy for ADHD, basically non-medication management treatment for ADHD. And by the end of the video, hopefully you'll have a better idea of whether or not it could work for you. All right. No fancy stuff, no funny business. Let's just jump right in. I'm going to share my screen with you, share with you my raw transcript. All right. Now, before I dive into this, let me actually introduce myself. How rude of me. My name is Matt. I'm a therapist in private practice. I own a group practice called Progress Therapy, stylized as PRGRS. We have a home base in New York City, but we are licensed to see folks throughout the state of New York, and we specialize in ADHD therapy. We also work with other general mental health stuff as well. And if you're interested in working with us or you want to know more, click the link down below, check out our website, schedule a free consult. But with that out of the way, let's just jump right back into this raw transcript. So a question we often get asked is if therapy, right, or non-medication based therapy work for ADHD. The answer is yes, it certainly does. And we're going to go through why and the different methodologies and things like that in a second. Now, it's important to know that a lot of people think that ADHD, the mainline treatment for ADHD is typically medication management. This is what people think about, right? And that's because medication can work really, really well. It's a great treatment for ADHD. But because of this, people often write off therapy, or they hear things about therapy and they're not sure, right? Or they just think it doesn't work or it's not helpful, right? And so that's what we need to talk about. And we need to kind of fix that assumption, okay? All right, so that's what I wanted to get out of the way. So this is a complicated topic, and I'm going to try my best to not make this too clinical and not use too much jargon. I'm going to break this down into a couple of different sections, which you can see labeled here by numbers. Number one, and this is where therapy can be helpful, is it's because we're able to use evidence-based treatments that target ADHD issues. All right, now I'm contrasting this to coaches. If you look at this from a legal perspective, coaches do not have to be licensed mental health professionals, right? Almost anyone could call themselves a coach, but a coach is not able to technically treat mental health conditions or do any of the methodologies that licensed therapists can, DBT, CBT, right? Those kinds of things. So coaches technically are not supposed to be doing those. So there's real limitations there. Now, when it comes to ADHD, right, there are a lot of symptoms and issues that can benefit from evidence-based interventions. One of the major interventions we use is called DBT, or dialectical behavior therapy, right? And as licensed mental health professionals, we are trained in DBT. And so some of the issues that DBT works, that helps people with, are things like emotion regulation. It helps with communication. I don't have it written here, but it helps with mindfulness. Okay. It helps with distress tolerance, right? I'm not spelling things properly. I'm typing with one finger, right? And just by me sharing that with you, you're probably thinking, if you know about ADHD or you struggle with it, that those are issues that people deal with when it comes to ADHD. And so as therapists trained with DBT, we're then able to use those evidence-based skills and tools and methodologies with our clients who have ADHD. And would you know it? They find it to be very helpful. And there's a lot of different therapies that can target ADHD symptoms. Now, it's important to know that there is no one specific methodology for ADHD, right? So usually we're using an eclectic collection of therapies to target specific issues that people with ADHD deal with. All right. But at the end of the day, therapists are able to do that, and that can be very, very helpful. Now, the other thing is, it's important to know with ADHD, it doesn't just impact executive functioning, although that's a major component. But there's a very deep level of emotional issues that emerge in folks with ADHD. So let me actually turn up the brightness on this camera. Sorry about that. So we see folks dealing with shame, guilt. People are dealing with issues related to trauma, right? Just for example, being called stupid your whole life, or being told you're dumb or you're lazy your whole life when you're really dealing with ADHD. This can be problematic and lead to a lot of issues. There's a lot of relationship issues that occur with inside ADHD, right? Leading to other issues as well. So what I'm basically saying is that we have the ADHD issues themselves, the symptoms, and then those symptoms can cause a lot of other emotional issues, relationship issues, and things like that. Okay. And so as therapists, we're positioned very well to help people through emotional issues, right? That's typically what people think about when they think about therapy. They think about talk therapy or processing emotions and those kinds of things. So those are things that we can help with, right? We can help process and deal and manage with the shame and guilt, right? We can help with relationship issues, communication, all of this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is that therapy can really help tackle and get to that deeper layer that's impacted with ADHD. Okay. I think my focus is off here. Let's see. Can you guys see me? Hopefully I'm focused. Number 3, psychoeducation. So therapists are licensed mental health professionals. Now we are trained, right, to understand a broad array of different mental health conditions. So on one hand, we are able to teach people well about ADHD and other mental health issues. And I find that there are other people not as positioned, right, with lacking some of the training. Not that you need training to learn and to know about mental health conditions, right, and to understand it, right? You can read books and you can learn from credible resources and still teach yourself, right? But therapists and licensed mental health professionals are in a really good position to teach and educate about ADHD. Now, really well aware that not every therapist is equal, not every therapist is trained properly, but when your therapist is trained properly and they understand and they've been taught well and they're educated well, right? You're in a great position to teach people about ADHD. I find that not only are people without ADHD uninformed, but even folks with ADHD benefit from psychoeducation. And so I feel like licensed mental health professionals, not all of them, are in a great position to provide psychoeducation, especially with that the education that they got, right, that teaches more broadly, right, about mental health. And then this kind of leads into this fourth concept here, is what I would call rule outs. So ADHD often gets confused with a lot of different issues. It can get confused with other mental health conditions like borderline personality disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, and then it can get confused by people for things like laziness or not caring or being stupid, right? And these are horrendous and horrendously wrong. Now, as a therapist, a licensed mental health therapist, again, we have a good understanding of other mental health conditions. And so we don't just, again, I say this with the caveat, not every therapist is trained the same, okay? But a good mental health clinician should be able to rule out other issues and have a keen eye for what else could be going on and not just get pigeonholed into one assumption or one theory, which is what happens to a lot of people, right? So we're able to do a lot of rule outs. And again, with that clinical background, this can be really, really helpful. Okay. Now, there are more reasons why talk therapy or therapy with a mental health professional can be helpful, but these are 4 major ones that I see and that I feel like are helpful to highlight. Okay. If you have other questions, we respond to almost every comment. You can leave one down below. Just know this video is for educational purposes only. This is not a replacement for therapy. This is not clinical advice. This is simply for educational and informative purposes only. Okay, so at the end of the day, therapy can absolutely help with ADHD. It is something we're doing every day with our clients. We are therapists, licensed mental health therapists. We work with folks with ADHD. Again, if you're interested in booking a call with us or learning more about our practice, click the link down below, check out the website, book a free call. We would love to hear from you. Other than that, hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.